Now, the Ghana National Association of Teachers says it is not pleased with government's slow pace of response to challenges confronting schools in the flood-affected areas following the spillage of the Akosombo and Pong dams. School buildings now serve as temporary accommodation for displaced residents, compelling school children to skip school or take lessons under trees. Education Minister Dr. Yao Educhum, during a tour of the affected communities, assured government is working to address the situation.
Ability to reason. Mama.
School children in the flood-affected communities are one of the worst-hit victims of the dam spillage and its resultant flooding. They have had to stay away from school to take shelter in temporary structures far away from their abode for over a month. Until that time, when the floods recede, academic work remains in limbo. In a bid to gauge the severity of the impact of the flooding, the Education Minister, in the company of his deputies and some other officials in the education sector, interacted with the school children and teachers on their plight. He assured that government was doing everything possible to solve their challenge regarding the state of education in the district.
To engage stakeholders to really get on the spot accounts and various initiatives that are being undertaken. We've come, we've seen the teachers, we've talked to the regional minister, district chief executive, NADMO coordinator who is here. So we've gotten a very good feel of what is going on and how we can support the effort. As you see here, these are makeshift classes and students are learning. That's a good thing, that they are not losing out. In a number of places, we don't have that opportunity, and we should create that opportunity immediately. So we're looking at short-term solutions, medium-term and long-term solutions to the challenges. But as Education Minister, my primary purpose for the visit is how do I bring normalcy to the teaching and learning process, and that's why we came, and we've seen enough to go back and then look at what we can do to really bring about teaching and learning to our community, to our parents and to our students.
Some school buildings have been submerged. Teachers and students have been displaced. Teaching materials have been destroyed in the floods. There remains lots of anxiety among teachers, school children and parents concerning the future of education after the floods. Ivy Setsoji's report for Joy.
But the Ghana National Association of Teachers says it is not happy with the government's slow pace in addressing their concerns. Reverend Isaac Osu is GNAT president.
What we are looking forward is for them to be very proactive, to put measures in place to restore back academic work within these affected areas. But we are not happy with the pace in which the ministry together with GES are taking to resolve the matter. But once yesterday they were there, we will give them the benefit of the doubt and hope that within the coming days, they will let Ghanaians know what they are the measures they are put in place to restore back academic work within the affected areas. And when we are in an emergency situation, we have what we call education under emergency. So education under emergency is not like the normal procedure that all of us use. This is a situation where children and their teachers, parents are in difficulties now. So we believe and trust that the ministry, in terms of this emergency, will put in place measures.
Let's get more on this. Joining me via Zoom now, a spokesperson for the Education Ministry, Kwesi Kwati. Grateful to you for joining us now. Now, we're learning today that government doesn't have a coordinated plan to ensure that they bridge the gap between the people who have been affected and how they can get access to education. Why that?
And I think I responded to this question earlier on Joy News when I spoke to your colleague Ivas Mensah. And then the premise was that I don't think it is very helpful for us to always use, this approach in resolving issues like this. Of course, I understand the agency, I understand the importance that we have to attach to critical issues like this, but we also have to be mindful to address it in a very dispassionate manner so that even in our attempt to resolve whatever challenges occasioned by this spillage, we do not end up creating a lot of problems at the end of the day. Of course, I mean, yesterday I had the opportunity to join the minister's team, of course, together with other stakeholders from the Ministry of Education. You look at FPMU, GES, FRACE, HS, GTech, and NASIA, and other relevant institutions. And of course...
Okay, Kwesi, so to address this, what is the plan that the ministry is working with?
I mean, if you had allowed me to land, because I was still coming there. I mean, so the point is that, first of all, you need to appreciate the issue and the challenge that they are having even on ground. There are communities that you go that literally those displaced people from other communities are lodging within the school buildings. Certainly, we may have to liaise with, for instance, VRA and other relevant institutions to probably look at solutions like pavilions and other temporary places for studies and academic activities. Of course, as I speak with you, I mean, this morning, the regional education director from the Volta region also spoke to your colleague, and he also outlined certain measures like the shift system that they are running. So I do not think the ministry or Ghana Education Service is not doing anything. In situations like this, it is not a situation that, I mean, we could have reasonably anticipated, especially looking at the impact. And so when it happens like that, you have to liaise with stakeholders. You are having, for instance, EPA working with NADMO, working with the military and other institutions. For us, within the Ministry of Education, the assurance we are giving to all parents, all students is that we have a short-term solution, long-term, and even a medium-term approach. And like the minister indicated, and even yesterday, some of your men were on the ground. We've started a shift system. We are working with VRA to look at also the construction of pavilions and other temporary places to accommodate these people. But I mean, yesterday, for instance, our visit there was first of all to ascertain the situation for ourselves, get first-hand information to be able to, and that is what they mean.
Last week, the Africa Education Watch was proposing that if government could adopt the measures that were adopted during the COVID-19 shutdown, it could help. How about that? What steps has the ministry taken towards that?
Of course, I am not a disaster management expert, but what I know is that yesterday we picked the first-hand information, and most situations, in situations like this, you have to work with the data available. And yesterday, we were also able to gather some data, particularly from the regional directorate, and we are collaborating with other relevant institutions. I'm sure every situation will require its unique response. And if it becomes necessary that we may have to look at whatever approach that we use during the COVID time, for us within the Ministry of Education, we are open to it. But what is most important is the fact that yesterday we were there, we were able to have first-hand information. We provided some relief items. We provided some learning materials, especially to those schools that are running the shift system. And I mean, believe me, there are instances that as of now, you are even unable to track some of the students and some of the going children. Some of them are within their communities living with people, and the DCs, the MP, the other education sector workers are all helping to be able to track them. So it is not simplistic that maybe 22,000 has been displaced and they have not been provided education. It doesn't really work like that. There are processes and protocols that you have to follow where to track even the students in the first place, bring them together and provide education for them.
But I mean, when they started doing the simulation exercises, the education ministry should have prepared for something like this. It looks like there is an afterthought somewhere.
I think for me, I mean, this is where I feel we always get it wrong. It looks like in this country, at every point, if we want to address any issue, we first of all have to create an impression that somebody is not working before we feel that it can be solved. I think it can also be done even the other way around. At the end of the day, if you look at the genesis of the problem, I mean, it's almost been perennial, but this time it's escalated to a very unmeasurable level.
Okay. All right.
And of course, being a rapid response from all, I mean, government sectors to be able to resolve it.
Mr. Kwasi, I'm grateful.
Assurance is that we are still working to make sure that we get.
Okay, so that's the Education Ministry PRO, Kwesi Kwarteng there. Now,